What's up, everybody? You probably maybe encountered this discussion about creating. This is in reaction to like Goyim Defense League, the GDL, the NatSoc Florida. I've been analyzing, like some of this activity that's been happening in Florida, and it's a little surprising, like how quickly people have responded in Florida to try to do something about this. So lawmakers are they're trying to up the well they're basically saying they're going to enforce laws already on the books, like littering laws, anything that's any type of harassment or anything that's already on the books. They're going to enforce anything that's, anti-Semitic or has any type of racial animus, and they're going to actually up the charge, I believe, to a hate crime or something like this, or they're going to up it to a felony using a hate crime statute, which is basically what they did in New Hampshire. I don't know the legality of putting a banner off of public property. It's probably one of the there's things that are illegal, and then there's a question of whether they enforce it a lot. So people don't like Nazis in general, so they're like, well, we're gonna enforce it on you guys because you're fucking dipshits, and people don't like you, and the community doesn't like it. So I think that's kind of what's happening. There is a question of First Amendmentness, but the First Amendment doesn't give you a right to litter. It doesn't give you a right to put things on other people's property that don't want you there. Like, you don't have a First Amendment right to say go out in front of a Walmart and do whatever you want. If Walmart doesn't want you there, it's private property. You got to get off. When it comes to public property, it's a little bit more complicated. It's kind of like I don't know the legality of that there, save for the New Hampshire thing. But I guess technically you're not allowed to hang banners. But anyway, uh, th- these people aren't morons, so they wouldn't pass something that would violate the First Amendment and have it overruled. I wouldn't think so. So I would think it would adhere to the First Amendment anyway. But I don't know. Like when something is doing something the community doesn't like. Yeah, I do think public servants, law enforcement should act to prevent those acts. But the problem here is I don't think you can rely on law enforcement to stop anti Semitism or something like this or problematic views. That's really done by the community. So I really think the best path with these GDL guys is the public should act. If people are going around neighborhoods doing things they don't like, they should make the community aware. They should take pictures of them with the ring cameras. They should document what they're doing, who they are. All that's perfectly fine and legal. And then spread that information. This is the douchebag going around and doing this. If you see him, tell him to fuck off or get lost. Right? I think that's the best community defense, not having locking people up or having law enforcement necessarily do it. Maybe it's a mix of both, but I think really the community should have a strong response collectively against people that engage in this type of activity. And it's happened multiple times where these JDL guys go around, talking shit, throwing these pamphlets out, putting up the signs, and the community reacts negatively, takes pictures of them, spreads around the community, and they stop doing it because they're not welcome. The GDL guy himself, John Mindanao, who the fuck is Minadeo? It's Italian, not Japanese. Minadeo. He got up and left California because he was fucking shunned and hated by the community. And when a community hates you, at least a couple people are gonna cross the lines of legality and threaten you, or his house was defaced, this type of thing. which I'm not saying engage in an illegal activity, but it's just going to happen when you piss off a community. If I go into the ghetto, famously like happened in Die Hard, with a "I hate N-word" sign, would I expect to, you know, not have my rights taken away and not have like a bottle thrown at my head? Of course not. It's obvious that would happen. So doesn't mean you condone it. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see where this goes anyway. But I really think it should be a community action taken against these people who try to stir up trouble. And the best way to negate it along those lines should be found out, which I think people are already doing, but they need to do a better job. They need to report about what these people are doing, spread it around the community, talk about it in the media, use it against them. That's what I advocate for. If somebody's going around engaging in these types of activities that people hate, like document what they're doing, who they are, and then go fucking flyer their neighborhood, right? If it's legal for them to flyer, then you can flyer their neighborhood. Like, this person's a piece of shit, and this is what they're doing, and fuck this guy. And then if they're making video clips calling for nefarious things, then clip their videos and show the community what they're doing. That's how you use their words against them, right? Like, basically, when you're questioned by law enforcement, anything you do can be used against you in court or otherwise. So anything these people do, whether it's in real life, on the internet, wherever, you take video, you screenshot it, you record it if it's IRL, you document what they're doing, who they are, etc., etc., spread it around the community. Use what they're doing against them. And it works. That's why like this Night Nation review guy reacts so negatively against it and cries foul and flails his arms in victimhood, because he knows it's effective. So he tries to claim that it's, below the belt, illegal. Oh, I could have you arrested for harassment, blah, blah, blah. No, you can't. Anyway, that's the best community defense. Not necessarily arresting them, because it's not about what's legal versus illegal when you're talking about what creates a healthy community. Okay, yeah, you want the criminals in jail, but there's a lot of toxic things that aren't illegal, many things. And how do you get rid of those? Well, you speak out against them. You criticize the people doing it. You shun them. You try to dissuade that type of behavior. So just relying solely on the police, or like solely on journalists, everything comes from the bottom up, really. Journalists aren't going to report on something that the community doesn't have an interest in, or kind of pushes the media to report. And law enforcement responds to the community. They respond to criticism from the community, because the community is going to say, well, like, what are you doing about this? These people that are either bothering people or being toxic, whatever. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. See what happens. Just making a quick video on it, and everyone have a good day.